Welcome back to Fireside Fears. If you enjoy chilling, immersive horror stories told in the dark, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let the fire crackle, let the night settle in, and let's begin. I used to work the night shift at a small roadside motel off Highway 27, a dying place with 10 rooms, failing neon lights, and a parking lot big enough for maybe 3 cars. Guests were rare. Most nights I sat behind the counter, fighting sleep, listening to the hum of the vending machines and the buzz of the flickering sign outside. People always say night shifts are boring. I wish mine had been boring, because one winter night, around 2:14 a.m., something checked in that shouldn't have been able to check in at all. It started when the front bell rang, a sharp metallic ding. I jumped because I hadn't heard that bell in hours. When I looked up, nobody was there. The lobby was empty. The glass doors didn't open. No wind, no movement. But the sign-in log on the counter was open to a new page, and a pen was sitting beside it. I hadn't put it there. I leaned forward and froze. Someone had written on the line for room 6. The handwriting was shaky, thin, barely legible. A name. Aiden Rowe. At least, that's what it looked like. But what bothered me most was the timestamp. The guest had written the exact second, 2:14:03 a.m. That bell had rung at exactly 2:14:03 a.m. I should have checked the security camera monitor right then, but something inside me didn't want to. I grabbed a key for room 6, walked out to the parking lot, and immediately felt the temperature drop. Not a normal cold, a sudden heavy cold like walking into a freezer. Room 6 was the last door on the left. The curtains were drawn. The window was dark. But there was a shadow on the other side of the curtains. Tall, still, waiting. When I slid the key card into the reader, the door unlocked by itself. It clicked open before I touched the handle. I stepped back, hard. I didn't open the door. I didn't want to, but a voice came from inside. Low, rough, like someone who hadn't spoken in years. "Thank you." 2 syllables. Nothing dramatic, but they were wrong. Off. The tone didn't match the words. Gratitude shouldn't sound like hunger. I stepped away from the door and went straight back to the lobby. I locked the doors behind me, checked the security cameras, and nearly threw up. On the footage, at 2:14 a.m., the lobby doors never opened. No one walked inside. No one walked up to the counter. No one wrote in the book. But the pen lifted. It hovered. It pressed down, and the letters formed as if held by invisible fingers. Then, the bell rang on its own. Every instinct I had screamed at me to call the police, but what would I say? Ghost checked in? They'd think I was insane. So I did what I always did on slow nights. I forced myself to finish my shift. Around 3:40 a.m., I heard footsteps from outside. Not normal footsteps, slow, heavy ones that seemed to drag something behind them. They moved past the lobby window. I hid behind the desk and watched the security screen. Room 6's door was open, wide open. The camera showed a dark figure standing just inside, half hidden in the doorway. Not moving, not breathing, just watching the parking lot. Then the figure stepped out. It was tall. Its limbs were too long, its head tilted at a painful angle. Its arms hung low, almost touching the ground. It walked toward the other rooms, stopping at each door, watching, listening. When it reached room 3, it stood completely still for almost 5 minutes. Then it leaned close to the door and whispered something. I couldn't hear it from the footage, but the guests inside room 3 must have heard it, because the door opened a crack. The figure entered. The door closed. I grabbed the phone and dialed 911, but before the operator answered, the lights in the lobby flickered violently, the vending machine's hum stopped, the sign outside went dark, and in the blackout, something tapped on the glass right behind me. 1, 2, 3, slow taps, then a whisper, "Check out!" The lights returned. I spun around. No one was there. I locked myself in the supply closet until sunrise. When the sun rose, the police finally came. They found the door to room 3 wide open. Everything inside was untouched, bed made, lights off, no one inside, no sign the guests had ever been there. Their luggage was gone. Their car was gone. The only evidence they existed at all were their names were still in the check-in log. But the most terrifying part? Under Aiden Rowe's signature, someone had written again. Same shaky handwriting. Checked out. Room 3. But room 3 was never assigned to him. I quit that day. The owner didn't ask why. He just nodded slowly, like he already knew. Last week, I drove past the motel for the first time in months. It was shut down, windows boarded, parking lot cracked. But on the peeling sign, someone had spray painted something in tall, crooked letters. He never left room 6. I checked the property listing online out of morbid curiosity. The description said, "Previous guest records missing. Room 6 permanently sealed." There was a single interior photo of the room. The curtains were open, the walls were bare. But in the corner, barely visible, was a tall figure, with its head tilted too far to one side. And under the photo, someone commented 12 days ago. Stayed here before it closed, heard someone whisper check out all night, thought it was the wind. The fire's burning low now. If you enjoyed the story, stay close. There are many more to tell. Until next time, sleep with one eye open. You're never truly alone when you're near the fire.